I'm Felina.
And I'm Summer.
And you are listening to Broken Broken.
Because we're both.
The podcast about living your best life by getting real.
Hey, broken people. This is Summer. And Felina's still out on sabbatical, so I'm flying solo again this week. And what you're about to hear is actually a continuation of the conversation that I had with Priya, which you heard last week. We knew we had, reached our time limit, but we just let the mic keep recording, and we had a conversation. So, as you'll hear, it's a lot more free-flowing. It'll feel more like you're eavesdropping on our conversation than a typical show. But after the feedback I got back from last week, and a lot of people asking, so, where does some of this come from and all of this, and then hearing the playback on the conversation, I thought it was really important for some of these things to just be said out loud. Patriarchy is a huge problem that we still are battling every day. A lot of the complaints that women have about men every day boil down to patriarchy, the gender roles that we're accustomed to. We see this playing out in the political realm, of over controlling women's bodies. A lot of this comes down to patriarchy. And, we talk about white supremacy on the show a lot, and patriarchy, and they're all just violent systems of control. And if we ever hope to have a better, more humane world, we've got to deconstruct those systems. They're not something that can be reformed. They have to be deconstructed and something else built in their place. And we touch on it a little bit, just as people of color can be complicit and uphold white supremacy and racism, women are sometimes the most passionate defenders of patriarchy, and they absolutely can and do uphold patriarchy. And so I just think it's really important for, to just put those words out into the universe and for people to listen and to consider. And also there's some more mention of the situation with my former colleague, and I do want to just ask that anybody who has been harmed by him or anyone else who used my name to access you, please contact me and let me know. Let me know the situation, because I want to do whatever I can to help remedy that and hopefully repair some of the damage in whatever way I can, because I don't ever want to contribute to harm, even unknowingly. And I will do whatever I can to bring justice to that. And now on to our show.
I'm just like, the audacity of men. I'm just like...
Or just men in general.
Yeah.
Why do you exist? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's hard for me to find a reason, to be honest, outside of, like, if you feel like, making babies or whatever. Other than that, I really don't see them as necessary, but that's just my personal opinion.
I got a message last night from some stranger on the internet. He went straight for the point, too. He's like, hey, beautiful, so what is your mixed heritage?
Oh, my God.
Like, so is that supposed to be better phrasing than what are you? I'm not sure. I laughed for 10 solid minutes about what leads you to ask a stranger on the internet this question.
Right. And, like, how bold? Like, where do you get off being that bold with a question like that with a person you never met?
He's a white doctor in Oklahoma, so I'm sure he feels entitled to whatever he wants.
Oh, my goodness. No, but seriously, like, white men are, like, the most entitled jackasses I have ever worked with. Ever.
Yeah. Well, that's who that was that I was working with, and that was a whole
and if I find a motherfucker using my name to get to people, game over.
Yeah, that's what I found out about after I started talking to her, and she has been, because she's been getting increasingly disenchanted with him, and I guess she's working on filing a complaint against him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she contacted me, because she's been talking to other people who've worked with him, and that's what I found out, was he was using my name, that's how he got her to hire him. And apparently other people, because I worked there, I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I thought the first time, because I was working on a contract basis, and I was having, I would do, drafting services and, research.
Yeah.
And I would do coordination with the clients, but that was it. Like, that was my role. My role wasn't, but I guess he was using my name like I was. And so he was getting these people to hire him, saying, yes, she works with me and she does all this work in this area and she does all this advocacy in this area, so you should come.
And I'm a white male and I'm going to come in and co-op that shit.
And yeah, I had no idea. I did not know all of this was being being said.
Be pissed.
Yeah, I just found this out. So I'm like, I don't even know what to do with that. First of all, who does that?
Right.
Secondly, although now it makes a little more sense, like some of the stuff that was happening. Because like he made a comment one time, because as it turns out, Indian country is very small. And so as it turns out, a lot of times, you've got like 2 degrees of separation from any given person, pretty much.
Yeah.
So on 2 different occasions, we ended up having people come for a consult and finding out that it was guys that I had dated. No big deal.
Yeah.
Not a problem for me, not a problem for them.
Right.
But I would be like, how did you find out I dated them? But apparently that's what he was doing, was he would bring me up and it was part of his sales pitch. And they'd be like, oh yeah, I know her. And the way I found this out was because he made this sideways remark to me about how it seems like I've dated half of Indian country. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me?
Yes. And I'm like, first of all, that's only 2.
Right.
People. And then he later he made that remark a couple times. I'm like, that's not okay to say to me.
Right.
And then one time he made a remark about, he was telling me about somebody that he was going to ceremony with, and I'm like, and I knew who he was. I'm like, yeah, I know, because he was trying to get me to come out to some event or something that this guy was at. I'm like, no, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I know who he is. He has a long history. And I just don't want to be involved
Right.
with, he's a predator. I understand that. I know he says he's changed, but I'm not comfortable around him.
Yeah.
And he says, really? Because he seems like the kind of guy you would have dated. I'm like, what?
You are about to get knocked across the room,
I'm
sir.
like, first of all, no. When he started hitting on me several years ago, I said no. And that was before I knew this information.
Right.
But you don't get to say that to me.
Right. What gives you... What even? Like, that would go all over me.
Mm-hmm. And I was in a position where I'm like, well, half my income was
Right.
coming from this guy, from the contract with this guy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I just kind of would be a smart ass and I'm like, you can't, no, you don't, make a joke. I'm like, you don't get to talk to me like that.
No.
And then let it go. And then finally I just couldn't take it anymore. And I said, we stopped working together. And life has been financially hard ever since, but.
Yeah. But to get away from a creep like that.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not still there, because apparently he's gotten worse. And the things that I've been told the last week have been rather disturbing. And I'm like, I'm glad I don't work with him. But now I feel like, was he able to cause harm to people by using my name in order to access them?
Right.
Because I purposefully never made my connection with that firm public.
Yeah.
For that reason, because I was working behind the scenes and I didn't want people retaining it.
Yeah.
Based on me working there. I didn't want that. And I had that conversation explicitly with him. And so now to find out that he did it, that he used, because I refused to play that role, he just used my name without my knowledge in order to gain access to people. God. So now I feel like,
that is so horrifying.
Harm was caused. Yeah.
That is horrifying.
Yeah, it never occurred to me that was even within the realm of possibility. Because like I said, who does that?
Right.
So like it never entered my brain that was possible. So now I feel like I'm trying to find out what those possibilities are, and is there a way for me to help fix any of them if he, because surely if he's
if he's done it with one,
he's probably harmed other people too, which she's fired him now, thankfully. But
oh my God. Just the entitlement, it just makes me so angry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around it.
I'm like, I'm minding my fucking business. Maybe you should try the same.
It costs nothing.
Yeah, it's free and it don't cost shit.
I don't understand how people function like that. I guess they don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't know. I
saw a tweet do you remember that guy called the Return of the Kings a couple of years ago? And they were like a bunch of these incels that were, saying that women should do this, that, and the other, and that they were planning. They're the ones who believe in sex with minors and,
Lord.
and whatever. And it was funny because I remember when that story came out a couple years ago, it came out that the guy who's the head of the group lives in his mom's basement.
Of course he does.
And so he came back on Twitter a couple days ago and was like, women shouldn't wear pants, in the interest of modesty, blah, blah, blah. And people just went ham on this guy. I was like, please do it. Because he's such a douchebag. And I've been like, are you saying this from your mom's basement again? Because, like, what's good, homie?
What does your mom think about this? Can we talk to her?
I know, right?
There's some serious conversations I need to have with her.
I was like, oh my god, this clown is trying to make himself relevant again. Like,
wow.
It's just trash. Return of the Kings. That's what they're...
So no more pants.
Yeah, no more pants.
I won't wear pants anymore.
Yeah.
Pasties and a miniskirt it is.
Yep. I'm so sick of, like, that labor being put on us to be like... Yes, this is fucked up, and this is why. And then y'all motherfuckers don't be sending no kind of money while we're doing all this shit for you expect us to do for free. Like, fuck all the way off. I'm gonna send you my PayPal, Cash App, Venmo.
I saw I think it was a tweet. I don't think it was Tumblr. I think it was a tweet the other day that said that something about sex is like the most spiritual, intimate thing you can do, so you should do it with someone special. How are you out there having sex with someone who hasn't given you money yet?
Yeah, seriously though, like,
it's like, yes, I've been doing it all wrong.
I know, right? Like that, what was it? That was like a 56-year-old dominatrix that has men clean her house.
They pay to clean her house.
Yeah.
I have been living life wrong all these years.
But like, I'm asking for me, not for a friend, but for me.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know. I got to figure out this Fendom thing.
Yeah.
I really want to do that.
Give
me your money.
I will abuse you
as much as you want me to. Just send me your money.
I know, right? But like, oh my god. And I got really excited because I thought the guy who asked me to tap into my networks, I got like a PayPal notification, and I was like, okay, maybe he fucking realized that he was being a douchebag. And so I checked my PayPal, and it wasn't mine. It was like an organizational PayPal account that got the money. I was like, oh man, I had some hope for you too. Like,
that's what I want to start doing.
Yeah.
When guys send me a request or anything, or those unsolicited messages, that's what I should have done to the doctor, dude. Just hit him back with my Cash App link.
But like, if you want further interaction, it'll be $5 a minute.
I mean, that's what the fandoms do, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, no, you have to pay. There will be no interaction until you pay.
Right.
That's what it should do. It'll save a lot of time blocking people.
Right.
They block themselves.
I had some dude try to slide into my Twitter DMs, and his little Twitter bio said "Son of God," and I was like, nope.
Why does anybody with that in their bio follow me on Twitter? There's a ton of them, and I'm like, what the hell is happening there? So much confusing about this.
Right? But like, I'm very, very confused for you right now.
Right? I don't even understand why you would read my tweets. You got some sort of twisted fetish, right?
Yeah. Oh, and there was another thing that I saw, and it said men will flirt with you on every app except Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal.
Right? That's
like,
where you need to be.
Right?
Lord.
I'm like, there's a reason I look unapproachable. It's because I don't want to deal with your bullshit. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
I mean... Oh, goodness. I just lost my That was Oh. So I saw this tweet on, there was a tweet last night. I was just being ridiculous, but apparently people think I'm hilarious for some reason. It said delete your ex's nudes, like, a whole bunch of times, which is reasonable, fine.
Yeah.
And my comment when I retweeted it was, I wouldn't even make you delete them. Just know if anyone else ever sees them, even accidentally.
Yeah.
That is considered you consenting to being stabbed. I don't make the rules.
Yeah. No. If you really want to try, me, let's do it this way. Can count on me.
I did have one guy who thought it was funny to make a joke when he while I actually have this on video where he's saying it, because he was saying it while he was making the video, and he's like, I'll wait till you run for office and then I'll release it. And I'm like, oh, that's funny because I'll release it myself before you get to.
Right.
Hope you like everybody seeing you too.
Right? And I'm like, it's fair play.
yep, I'm not ashamed. I don't care.
It amazes me, and I think about this often, like, just how many people are, like, blackmailed in, like, Washington, D.C. for their sex stuff. And I'm like, just fucking
It's
own
just
it.
sex. Like,
It's
who
sex.
cares?
Who gives a shit? Like, just own up to it. Like, you'd be saving yourself and probably your family a lot of trouble if you would just own up to being a fucking creep. Like,
There was that, was he like a governor candidate, I think, like in Arizona or something, and that's what he did when he first started his campaign, was he put on his website, like, I have done all these things, like, yeah, you know, yes, I have had sex with married people, and I have, you know, there are sex tapes and videos and all of this stuff.
good.
And he just put it all out there. He's like, now that there won't be any surprises, can we talk about the issues?
You're right.
And I actually messaged him when he did, when that came out.
Yeah.
And talked to him about that for a few messages.
Did he win?
He did not, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping. But I'm like, this is what I would have to do if I ran for office. I'm just putting it all out there because none of
Right.
it matters. Like, it's like when, as much as I hate Mary Fallon, I hate to bring up this example.
Right.
Like when she, you know, during her campaign, that was like the big thing. But she's divorced.
Who
Who
cares?
cares? I don't care.
Right.
Or, oh, they had an affair. I don't care who they're fucking.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Are they okay with putting kids in cages? That's what I want to know. Like, I
Right.
don't care how many people they fucked while they're married, while they're not married, or if the people they were fucking are married. I don't care.
I care what they actually do about the issues.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck who you're...
Right. Are they policing my body?
Right.
That's pretty important to me.
Yeah.
How they get off, not so much, unless it's, you know, harming people.
Yeah.
I don't understand. The Americans have such a weird hang up about sex. I don't understand.
It's all that, like, internal shame and that religious bullshit of, like, you have to be pure, you have to be, you have to be clean, you have to be this, you have to be that.
Purity culture makes me want to be violently ill.
I know, right? It actually makes me pretty sick because I'm just like, God, just let the people be. Like, why are you just so obsessed with controlling their bodies?
But it's always the women, right? The men can do what they want.
Yeah.
They just have to, if it's, quote, wrong, they just have to apologize for it. They repent and then they're fine.
Right.
But women are worthless if we did anything.
Right. I remember when all that stuff went down with Monica Lewinsky. Everyone was like ragging on her like nonstop, and I was like, why? Like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, you're a horrible fucking human being. She was a kid and she was a college intern.
And people still, like, have you ever seen the comments on her Twitter threads?
Yeah.
They're horrible to her.
They're awful.
And I'm like, what the hell did she do?
Right.
She had sex with a married man. So the fuck what? Like,
Really? Because the power play here is that he was president of the United fucking States.
People don't even want to think about that.
Right.
Yeah, like she was an intern.
Yeah. You don't think he was obviously taking advantage of her, obviously.
Right. But even if he wasn't, so
Yeah.
what? That's not our business. That's
Exactly.
between him and his wife. That's got
Exactly.
nothing to do with us.
People are so controlling. Live your life. Like,
I don't know. I don't understand monogamy at this point. Like, there was a point in time where I did, or I thought I did.
yeah.
But now I realize that was my insecurity of, like, because I had been taught if he wants to be with someone else, even just sexually, that meant there's something wrong with you. So once I got past that and realized that my partner's desire doesn't have anything to do. I mean, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It's not a deficit in me.
Right.
I no longer feel the need for any of that. So, like, I don't care. Go fuck who you want.
Yeah.
Just don't be bringing something like I'm worried about safety, but
Right.
like, none of that has anything to do with me. I don't own your sexuality.
Right.
You don't own mine.
The whole idea of just like ownership is icky. Like having ownership over your partner. Like,
Well, that's what marriage is.
Yeah.
Marriage law.
Oh,
as far
yeah.
as legal marriage, yeah.
There was a woman that I saw. She's like 107, I think. And she said her secret to a long life was not getting married.
Yes. Avoid men.
Yeah.
They suck the life out of you.
Yeah. I was like, word.
It's true. I mean, statistically, men live longer when they're married because most of the time
They're-
the woman is taking care of them.
Right.
And women's life expectancy decreases. which
Yeah.
is- I don't know if they've done any studies to differentiate with same-sex couples.
I know, that would
to
be
know if that
interesting to
makes a
see.
difference.
Yeah.
Especially, or, I don't know, that may change a little bit, too, with gender roles shifting a bit. But
Yeah.
I mean, when gender roles were pretty solidly set, that is the case. I don't want anybody that I take care of. Because that's what I keep, the article after article is written about this, the inequity of like household responsibilities and
Right.
stuff, which I get. And everybody's like, men need to start taking more responsibility, which, yes.
Yeah.
But my question is, why the fuck are you putting up with that?
Right.
Why are you, oh, I have to nag him, I have to do whatever. I'm like, or, now here's an idea. You could put him out of your house and not raise him like he's a goddamn child.
Exactly. Because that's what they are, is they're fucking, like, man-childs.
I don't even take care of my kids in the way some people take care of their men.
Right?
Like, no, you gotta do this one on your own because your legs ain't broke.
Right? And it's like, the only reason they live longer is because they suck the life out of everyone who takes care of them. Right.
Yeah, I was never willing to do that. Of course, I was raised specifically not to do that because my grandfather, I love him very, very much.
Yeah.
And I am his favorite grandchild. So he was always very wonderful to me. But he was a terrible husband and father. But he found a white wife specifically because he said, I wanted somebody who would do what I say and take care of me. And Choctaw women aren't raised to do that. I'm like, damn!
Damn! Talk about mic drop.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. So you wanted a servant and you went and got one.
Yeah.
And that's what he got.
Yeah.
And she has
Delivered,
spent
apparently.
her life killing herself taking care of him. And I'm just like, wow. Yeah, so my dad very deliberately taught his daughters to not be that way.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're not going to do that. You're not his mama or his maid.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I've never been willing to do that, and that's also part of why I'm not with my youngest son's father, because he was raised that way. He was white. Mm-hmm. Family actually grew up with his grandma actually grew up with my grandparents too, so all raised very similarly, and so he was raised that that's what women are supposed to do, and I'm like, oh, that's cute, that's not happening.
No, boo-boo, that's not gonna work here.
No, that's not gonna work. So aside from the fact he's a sociopath, that was what I told him from the beginning, like, we can't, it's not gonna work because I can't do that. I will never do that.
It's just like floors me, like the lengths that men will go to like gaslight and destroy women, and I'm just like, hold out, man. Charge men severely on imports and exports, like withhold everything, because these assholes aren't gonna learn to do a damn thing on their own unless you sink or swim with these motherfuckers.
I just don't understand why people put up with it. I don't.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that they really think it's supposed to be that way as much as they want to bitch about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because my husband, when I got him, of course we were 16 when we got him, he didn't know how to do nothing. He couldn't wash his own clothes. I had to take him and teach him how to wash clothes. Because his mom had always done that. She took care, and she lived a very short life.
Yeah.
Because she spent her life, she killed herself taking care of her husband.
Wow.
And neglecting herself, so she didn't realize she had cancer until it was too late.
Yeah.
Because she was ignoring herself and neglecting her own health, taking care of him. And
that's sad.
Yeah, but he didn't know how to do anything. He didn't know how to cook. He didn't know how to, he went to welding school. He didn't know how to, him and his roommate, they didn't know, neither one. Both of them were in the same situation. Their mamas had always taken care of them. They didn't know how to wash their clothes. They didn't know how to cook for themselves. So they were going and buying cream of mushroom soup and heating it up in a microwave and living off of that for 2 weeks, until I found out that and microwave popcorn. Until I found out that's what they were surviving off of. I'm like, wait a second. Y'all can't even cook some like mac and cheese? Like, follow instructions? How are you building shit
right
in a welding shop and you can't follow 3 steps on the back of
a box? Yeah.
So I took them down, and they were taking their clothes down on weekends for his mom to wash. I lost it. You are a grown-ass man. Of course, I was 17. I thought, we were grown at 17.
Yeah.
We were on our own. I'm like, you were taking your stuff down for your mama to wash on weekends? This is ridiculous.
No.
So, yeah, I took them, because they had come. I was in Norman at the time. They had come to see me in Norman, and that's what they were trying to figure out. Well, how are we going to wash our clothes? Will you wash them for us? I'm like, oh, no, the fuck I will not.
Right.
And so I took them down to the laundromat and taught them how to wash their clothes. I'm like, don't ever let me hear you taking these to another woman to make her do it ever again. That's ridiculous. But so many people are raising their kids that way. And so obviously when they're grown, they think that's how it's supposed to be, and they tolerate that bullshit.
Oh my
And they're getting used like they're maids instead of just being like, no, you're going to act grown in here. You're going to get out.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I would do that just, woo! Jesus be offense. The bar is like non-existent.
It is on the floor of the ocean at this point.
Yeah. I would even argue the Earth's crust.
And some of them still tripping on it.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, oh my God. Like, I've totally, completely abandoned the idea of, like, decent man because, like, none of them.
I feel like there are some because I know some.
Yeah.
But I still don't want them in my house. Like, you do good taking care of yourself over there in your own place, but I feel like if you move in here, somehow I'll end up taking care of you, and I'm not okay with that because I've seen that happen.
Right.
I've seen men I know a man who was raising his child on his own and doing wonderful, taking care of him, taking care of his kid. Then as he moves in with a woman, suddenly he can't cook for himself. He can't make his own fucking plate. He can't. I'm sorry, what? No. I don't make your plate.
No.
No.
You gonna starve because I'm not getting your goddamn plate.
No, like, I cooked and there's food over there. If you want to eat, you go get it.
You got arms and legs. Use them.
Yeah, like, I got enough kids to take care of. You ain't one of them.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, I'm always like, I don't know if I want a man to live with me ever again because they may be okay taking care of themselves over here.
Quite
But if
frankly,
they come into my house,
quite frankly, most of them are just utterly disgusting. Like, I have to share a gender-neutral bathroom on my work floor.
oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
And the dudes just pee all over the floor, not even in the toilet. And it's so gross and so obnoxious that there was one time where I didn't realize it and I almost slipped and fell.
God.
And I was like, this is fucking ridiculous and all of you are trash because you can't fucking clean a bathroom.
What the hell is wrong with them?
I'm like, oh my God.
Why are they okay with that? Like,
Be like, hey, if this is what you're doing in a public restroom, what the fuck are you doing at home?
I don't know. They probably have a wife who cleans up after them.
Probably like doggy pads, you know, just pop a squat, take a shit or a piss, and then leave it for your wife to clean up.
It's a Gatorade bottle by the bed. It's fine.
Right? I mean, I'm just like,
what is wrong with them?
so much.
I know
so much.
I know there are some men who listen to this. Please email me. Tell me what the hell is wrong with you or your fellow men, because I know every one of those is going to start with, well, I don't do that. But you all know somebody who does. So let's talk about your friend.
Right. Let's talk about collecting the asses of your friends who do this shit, okay?
That's my thing, because every time I think it was a tweet about getting catcalled out here in my front yard.
Yeah.
Which is not the first time it's happened. It happened when I was moving in, too.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I'm like, we can't even... I said, what was it, like, fuck you if you ask why we're afraid of men, because we can't even walk off our own front porch.
Right.
And everybody's like, well, I don't do that.
Really? Because you know people who do.
You know people who do. Are you checking them when they do that?
Right. I don't think so.
Not.
Yeah.
And otherwise they wouldn't feel it's okay.
And then you want to still claim that you're an ally, but don't be talking to your friends about their shitty behavior.
Right. Or your family, for that matter.
Yeah.
Because, he's my brother. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what your daddy did.
Right.
If it's wrong, it's wrong. Like, say something.
Exactly.
You think I haven't had words with my family for shit they do? That's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. Like, so... This is just so... I'm like
Priya's
fuming
blood
steam.
pressure is going up.
My blood pressure is going up and steam is coming out of my ears. Oh my gosh. This is just one topic that I refuse to budge on because I'm like, y'all are so pathetic.
I don't know. Like, I lose words when I think about it, because I'm just like, what the fuck? That's all that will come to head, because I'm like, there is no legitimate, like, rationale for just acting like this is okay.
Right.
So, what's your fucking excuse?
Right.
Know?
Oh, I refuse to date here. Like, if I do better when I'm traveling and I meet some rando that's not from here.
Right.
But I just refuse to do it here because the quality of men is just so bad.
Well, even the, quote, nice guys are pretty...
Right.
Patriarchal, because it is the Bible Belt. And
right.
as much as even the churchy folks who don't actually go to church
right.
are still heavily influenced by that mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, honey, no.
No. Yeah.
No,
we're not doing this here. There was a tweet that I saw the other day, and it was this woman that said she was in a club, and this dude kept approaching her, and she kept saying, no, thank you. Mm-hmm. And he grabbed her ass, and then when she was leaving, he grabbed her hand and her hand was sticky, and she didn't realize it at the time because she thought it was like because she had a drink in her hand, that it was from the drink. And then she gets out of the building and she sees that it is sliced open, like almost cutting a tendon because she told that motherfucker to leave her alone.
Oh my God, that's scary.
And she had shown the pictures where like her tendon was nearly cut in half. Like,
oh, that's terrifying.
From this fucking creep who just couldn't take no for an answer. And I'm like, this is the kind of shit that you need to collect asses for, because we are getting killed for this shit, and even more so for Indigenous women.
Yeah, I have a friend who, she's actually a black woman. She went to a club here in Oklahoma City a few weeks ago, and she kept trying to tell a man no and tell him no. And he literally at one point tried to pick her up. She ended up running to some stranger on the dance floor and grabbed him and like, please pretend you're with me.
Yeah.
And he did, and he walked her out to her car so she could leave. Because she's like, I could not get away from this guy, and she'd had a couple drinks, and she's like, I'm afraid, like...
Yeah.
And of course, you know, she's not a very big woman either. She's
right.
Like, and he was a pretty sizable guy. She's like, he's bigger than me, and she was terrified, because you don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
Especially after you've told them no, and they're like, literally, you know, they won't stop, they're persistent, and then when they start especially getting physical, because he did that too, he grabbed her a couple times, and he tried to pick her up, and I'm just...
No means no, motherfuckers. Like, leave, bounce, like, go find a sex doll or something, like...
Well, because it's not about sex, it's about power.
Yeah.
They want to control. They want
True.
They want to violate you.
Yeah. No, they really do. I mean, it's scary as fuck.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's
and
terrifying.
I'm like you, I run my mouth a lot, and it does get me into a lot of trouble, but I feel like this is one area, and I feel lucky in the respect that I don't get online harassment like fellow women of color do. Like, I'm fairly insulated, I feel like. And so I feel like the rando sliding into your DMs are like, you know, like, have the potential to be really crazy.
I don't get as many anymore since I started posting screenshots.
Good.
I started posting screenshots of them being creepy in my DMs. Although, I tell you what, my Twitter following dropped by about 4,000 followers in 2 days when I started doing that. So I'm like, damn.
But, like, accountability apparently rubs people the wrong way.
I guess I know what y'all were here for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I have, like, around 4,000 followers. I used to have 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then I disagreed with some political stuff, and I lost a whole bunch. And then that one, the next big drop was that when I started posting screenshots of the harassment. Then it like dropped in 2 days. People were like, you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, fuck them, they shouldn't do this.
Yes, right. And it's sad that I have to publicly shame these motherfuckers to get them to stop.
Right, and all I was doing was, it's not like I was doxing them.
Right.
Literally, I was posting a screenshot, and the caption would be like, don't be like this.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, just a generic, like, no, I don't want this in my messages.
Right.
And yeah, apparently people still were offended by that. And I'm like, because it's always on us.
Right.
To, you know, stop existing, Priya. Just stop existing.
Yeah, please stop breathing and please stop existing. And it's like, really? Because I really want to say that.
Right? Yeah, please stop. What was it I said the other day about somebody who was being that way? I was like, I'm not saying I want something bad to happen to him. I'm just saying that his clothes would look really good if they were on fire while he's still in them.
I guess, exactly.
I did finally, I don't think I ever updated people on me. I had the one guy. I stopped hooking up with him like 2 years ago or something. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
But we had a thing for probably a good couple years before that. And yes, he's married. Go ahead and email me about that if you have a problem with it. I don't fucking care. Because their property contracts got shit to do with me.
Right.
So, but even after I'm like, no, we're done with this, he kept messaging and he kept messaging. And it would just be randomly. And first, he'd be like, I want us to still be friends. Okay, I could be friends with you.
Yeah.
Like, I have no hard feelings. I just don't want to fuck you anymore.
Right.
So we would have, like, you know, normal conversation. And then he would send me, like, a link to a porn tweet or something. And I'm like, stop. Okay, first of all, you know I don't like porn.
Right.
So why are you sending me this shit?
Right.
Secondly, no. Like, this isn't what we do.
Right.
And to the point there's a tweet thread somewhere where Johnny J started sending him, she started texting him pictures of, like, like animals in quote sexy positions, and she would send comments and stuff, and I don't know if he ever connected the dots to that was
right
my cousin doing that, but he kept doing it and doing it. It was like almost a year, like for a long time. I'm like, and I would tell him like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, we don't, like, I don't want to talk to you about that.
Right.
Like, we don't have sex anymore. I don't want to talk to you about sex. I don't want to have sexual conversation with you.
Right.
So that would, okay. So that would stop it. So then the next time he would start it again. And then I'd be like, I did at one point be like, are you going to pay me?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll think about it if you're going to pay me. What's your price?
Right. Because if you're not, then shut the fuck up and leave me alone.
So that worked for a minute. And then it would be back. And then the last time I was just like, stop. Like, you keep bringing the conversation back to sex. Then he starts trying to gaslight me. And he's like, I do not bring up sex. And I just finally blocked him. I'm like, fuck you. Because he was already off of my phone.
Right.
The only way he could contact me, and he still can contact me, like through my public Facebook page, because I don't think he's banned on there.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how.
Maybe it might be safe to go ahead and do that.
I don't know how to ban people from my page who don't follow my page.
Oh, gotcha.
I assume there's a way, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
I've never Googled that. I should do that. But he was still able, since Facebook and Messenger split, right?
Mm-hmm.
It used to be, if they were blocked on one, they were blocked on the other. They're not now, they're separate. So I blocked him on Messenger, and now he blocked me on Facebook. I'm like, the only reason I know he blocked me on Facebook was because I was looking for an old message in Messenger, not from him, but from somebody else.
Yeah.
And so it looks different when you're blocked. And I'm like, oh. And so I clicked it, and I'm like, because I was like, who is that? Because the picture went away.
Yeah.
I was like, who is that? Those messages from? And I clicked it, and I clicked profile, and it'll show like his name, but it won't show profile.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, oh, he blocked me. How cute. He got his feelings hurt. Like, we weren't even friends on Facebook. I don't know why he blocked me. I'm like, I'm not on there trying to look at you and your wife. Like, I don't care.
Like, get over yourself.
I didn't even interact with your Facebook when we were fucking. Why would I do it now?
Now, exactly. But, like, do whatever you need to make yourself feel better.
I feel like some men just want to keep the delusion that no matter what, you always want that.
Right. And it's like you
and I think that's really what it was, because I said I didn't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle that.
Nope.
Because I didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
If he had said
did it to you, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Right, because he did do that a couple of times during those 2 years. I'm like, he would be like, I don't. And I really feel like, in hindsight, part of the reason he would come back was because when he told me I didn't want to do this anymore, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a big deal. And
Right.
I feel like he
wanted that
was
drama.
a rejection.
Right.
And so then he had to
make it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fucking weird.
And apparently when you tell him, just go fuck your wife and leave me alone, that's the wrong answer.
You can contact the podcast at brokebrokenpodcast@gmail.com. The Broken Podcast can be found online at www.brokebrokenpodcast.com, on Twitter at BrokeBrokenShow, on Instagram and Facebook at BrokeBrokenPodcast. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube.